Dad would yell at me, "Go to your room and put earphones on. I can't believe any of my children could be such a bum." So I would do that and get so lost in the music that I would start to sing out loud. The only problem was every time I really let go and sang my heart out, someone in my family would come banging on my door. "Be quiet in there. You're so annoying." And every time that happened, I would sing louder. I found out this later, but one day, as I was singing in my room loudly as usual, my dad's friend came to visit and he heard my voice. "Oh my God, what a beautiful voice. Who was the singer?" "No one." "Oh, come on. Call her. You know I have some connections with someone who can make her a famous singer." "Oh yeah? So you're now that angel who was sent to change her life? Just call her. She's the one with the angel's voice." All I knew was that I was minding my own business when Dad banged on my door screaming, "I said no singing!" My friend got so annoyed and he left. So shut it now. A while later, my whole family came in. My sister said, "It's like hearing nails on a chalkboard." My brother said, "It's like listening to an alley cat." My mom just burst into tears and said, "Music and singing is rotting your brain." I just couldn't take it anymore, and I yelled back, "No, it's not. You guys are. One day, I'm going to be a famous singer, and all of you are going to beg to come to my concerts." Dad looked shocked to hear me answer back and said, "Oh, so you'll answer back now? Looks like we're taking away your music." Before I could stop them, they took everything. My stereo, my iPod, my CDs, and my computer. And Dad smashed everything. "That's it! You've messed with the wrong person. You can't keep me from what I love." If they thought throwing away my stuff would stop from listening to music, boy, were they wrong. The next day at school, I ran to my best friend and dumped all my savings in front of her. "We're going to a rock concert. Can you arrange the tickets?" "What? Are you crazy? Your parents will legit kill you." "I don't care. They don't own me." Seeing how determined I was, she said her brother could probably arrange them. "How will you get out so late, though?" I just laughed and winked at her. I have my ways. The night of the concert, I went to my sister. "You have to sleep in my bed." "Lol, you wish, pest. You go out and I'm telling Dad. It'll be fun." "Great. I guess that's a good time to tell him you invite your boyfriend to your room every night." "Oh my God, are you blackmailing me? He'd never believe you." I grinned and waved my phone in her face. "He'll believe the picture I have." She gave in. Easy peasy. I almost felt bad about blackmailing her, but it wasn't my fault she was so dumb that she didn't even check my phone. I didn't really have any pictures. And before I knew it, I was walking into a crowd of hundreds of thousands of people. Excited as I was, I had no idea my life was about to change forever. All screaming and shouting with excitement for what we were about to see. Everywhere I looked, people were singing and dancing and laughing. And the music finally started. And that's when I caught my first real glimpse of the person I knew I was destined to become. A larger-than-life, guitar-wielding, stage-diving, hair-thrashing rock star. Suddenly, the stage burst into flames. The lights flashed everywhere, and the crowd went wild. Everyone screamed as the rock star came onto the stage, and she started singing one of my favorite songs. She was a goddess, and I sang it along with her as loud as I could. I knew every word. That's when my friend grabbed my hand and began pulling me closer to the stage. We pushed our way through to get as close as we could. And when the song ended, someone handed me a bouquet of flowers and told me to throw it on stage. I did, and the rock star picked it up, and she looked right at me, and, I kid you not, she winked. Then the music stopped, and she bowed her head, and she took a long moment before she grabbed her microphone and said the craziest thing I could ever imagine hearing. Now, I want to invite a special someone on stage to come and sing my next song for me. The crowd was wild. I couldn't even hear myself think. I shouted louder than I ever had in my life, and I couldn't believe it when she looked right at me and said, "You, who threw the flowers, get up here." I didn't even have to climb up to the stage because I was literally hoisted up in the air by all the people around me and then thrown onto the stage. The rock star looked at her band, threw up her hand and said, "And a 1 and a 2." And she handed me the microphone, and the band started the next song. I was paralyzed with fear when I turned around and saw thousands of people screaming with excitement. And to this day, I have no idea how, but I opened my mouth and I began to sing. It's so crazy, my night's so hazy. I'm rocking this stage, I'm breaking the cage tonight. I'm free, we'll rock this stage tonight. We stand and we fight, we shine in this light. My night's so hazy, I'm rocking this stage, I'm breaking the cage tonight. I'm free. The biggest surprise, though, was that people loved it. It was the opposite of what my family always said. I was a great singer, and suddenly I was a real-life rock star. When the song ended, I turned around and she pointed me to go backstage. Minutes later, the rock star and her band came right back to me and said, "Hey kid, I'm getting too old for this. Tonight was my last night performing, and now I'm passing the torch off to you." She handed me her microphone, she smiled, and then she walked away. Was this a joke? Her whole band was looking at me like they wanted me to say something. I said the only thing I could think of. Okay. And just like that, I was the new lead singer for one of the most famous rock bands in the world. When I returned home with a record deal, $1 million, and a personal assistant who was going to organize my new life as a rock star, my family took a complete round turn. Dad wasn't mad that I sneaked out. Instead, he threw his arms around me. "My daughter, my lovely, lovely daughter, you make your dad proud and rich." Before any of us could blink, I suddenly had agents and managers and a stylist. I was given a whole new wardrobe and a driver who took me everywhere I wanted to go at any time of the day. The band scheduled a worldwide tour for the summer when I was done with school, and we started performing everywhere. Everywhere I went, people screamed my name. I was suddenly doing exactly what I had dreamt of doing while dancing around my bedroom. I got fan mail from every corner of the earth, and I had a jewelry collection so big I had to buy an entire second home just to store it all in. Everywhere I went, people took pictures and asked for autographs. I was on the cover of magazines, and I played music with some of the most famous musicians of all time. I always stayed in the biggest penthouse suite a hotel offered. But things started to change. After months of living like this, I was starting to get really, really exhausted. Even though I was traveling everywhere and meeting the most famous celebrities and making millions and millions of dollars, it didn't feel like a vacation everyone thought it was. It felt like a chore. I was always working till late and had to be up early. I got on so many planes, I had no idea what part of the world I was in. One day, I finally tried to take a quick vacation, but I couldn't even leave the hotel because there was a mob outside waiting to take pictures with me. There wasn't even a single place I could go without someone harassing me for a picture or to give me a compliment. One fan told me my hair was so beautiful, and then they tried to rip out my hair so they could keep some. One time, my parents called and told me my fans had broken into our home to find things of mine. It was like I was a zoo animal. Worst of all, though, I didn't know who to trust or who to talk to anymore. My best friend who brought me to the concert only ever wanted to hang out with me when I was invited to parties. My already selfish siblings only ever called when they wanted something, which was a lot. "Hey, we've always been the nicest siblings. Why not introduce us to this celebrity?" "I'm sorry, I can't." Of course you can. You're famous." "Okay, Then at least get us free tickets to their concerts. I said I can't do this. I'm sorry. Stop lying! You're such a show-off and think you're important. You're just a stupid singer. Nothing more. And they hung up. My parents were the worst. They were suddenly doing interviews on television, telling the whole world how they supported me when I told them I wanted to be a singer. They were taking credit for my good luck and hard work, and everywhere I looked, someone wanted something from me. No one even asked me how I was doing. I was trapped, and I realized I didn't even like to sing anymore. One day, as I was on stage, I realized I couldn't even hear myself sing because everyone was screaming so loud. And that's when I decided, if I couldn't even enjoy the one thing I truly loved, I didn't want it. And that meant I would do exactly what was done to me. And I needed to find someone to take my spot. I scanned the crowd in front of me until I saw a girl singing all the lyrics to my songs. At the end of the song, I took a long moment and turned to the crowd and I said, I want to invite a lucky person up onto the stage to sing one of my songs. And I called the girl on stage, and boy was she good! And she seemed super excited to be up on the stage. So as soon as the concert was over, I told her the band was hers. Then I grabbed a bouquet of flowers, and I walked out of the concert and no one followed me. Everyone was too excited to meet the new singer, and I sang my heart out all the way home. I have a story of my own, and it's not a very happy one. I'm the oldest child in a family of 5 girls, and all my sisters are my half-sisters. Each one of us has a different dad. Mom really loved having daughters, but she said men were annoying and she didn't want to live with any of them forever. But sadly, I was the ugly daughter. But I'm not ugly. It's just that I'm not as pretty as the rest of my sisters, who are pretty, like real freaking models. Don't get me wrong, I love myself now, but when I was a kid, it really affected me. People would stop to laugh and talk with my sisters, and they completely ignored me. One day, Mom was reading something when she suddenly slapped her forehead. Oh, this book says that ugly people are usually smart. That explains your ugliness. God takes beauty and gives brains. This is how it works. Well, meet my mom. She's dumb, but I still love her. Why am I saying this? Because the year I started 2nd grade, it was my sister's first day of school, so Mom came with us. My teacher saw us all together and said, "Oh, you're Sarah's mom. But these can't be her sisters. They're very different. Oh, Sarah is adopted." Ugh, Mom was always like that, but she wasn't getting away with it this time. I immediately whipped out a copy of my birth certificate. Look, I swear I'm her biological daughter, but she keeps telling everyone I'm adopted because she's too dumb to accept that I'm different. Mom glared at me, but I stepped on her foot. Accidentally, of course, and went to class. Well, let me tell you, anyone can pass the 1st and 2nd grade, but it's when I got to the 3rd grade and things got harder that I found out the worst possible thing. I wasn't even really smart. When Mom saw my report card, she cried out, "Ugh, ugly and stupid? So then what did God give you? It can't be charisma. I mean, look at you." "Maybe a good heart, Mom? Maybe I don't judge people based on their looks?" Mom then started entering my sisters into beauty pageants, and they always won something. Once she came and said that since my sisters were like princesses, I should be the maid and serve everyone around. I glared at her. "You wish!" and went to my room. 1 year later, we found out that my sisters weren't just beautiful, they were also really smart too. Like so much smarter than me that I started making my second half-sister, June, do my homework. And my grades started getting so much better. When Mom found out, she went insane and said that I should find a job to make myself useful. But I have to tell you guys, I'm one of the top 10 laziest people on earth. But Mom has another word to describe me. "You're just useless, Sarah!" I spent the next few years of my life doing nothing really meaningful. I'd mostly just staying in my room watching videos on YouTube and shows like Hannah Montana. Until one day, Mom told me that she was taking the older sisters to the salon, and I had to babysit the youngest toddlers. The minute she left, I went straight back to my room. The toddlers followed me and asked me to take them to the park. "Oh, yeah, sweeties, of course. Just after I take this nap." I was lying for sure, and I wasn't going to take them anywhere. Hours later, I woke up to my mom screaming and sobbing. The toddlers were missing. "Your sisters are lost because of you!" "Oh, no, they're too pretty. Someone could have kidnapped them and put them in a beauty pageant already." "Ugh, Mom, take a chill pill. They're at the park." But to my utter horror, they were not. And I just went crazy with guilt. I started looking for them everywhere. 2 weeks passed, and they were nowhere to be found. And for the first time in my life, I realized Mom was right. I was only an ugly, stupid, useless girl. After 3 weeks, we finally found them. A blind old man had found them and had been taking care of them. The social services said that Mom wasn't qualified to raise us because of my sister's incident, and they'd be taking all of us away from her. My sister started crying, and Mom looked at me hatefully. I wish I'd never given birth to you. Mom paid almost everything she had to the lawyers until she won the case, and eventually we didn't have to leave her. But she never spoke to me again, and my sisters all resented me, except for June. June came to me one day and said, "Sierra, some people are just born unlucky, but there is no point crying over it, sis. Just find out what makes you happy." I was in 9th grade back then, and I decided to find a job after school. I applied for a job in a clothing store. When I got there, I saw a beautiful blonde girl waiting for the interview. Just then, the store owner came out and said, "Hey, you, pretty girl, you're hired." "But you didn't even interview me." "There's no need. You're, not very attractive for this job. But you look like a smart person. I'm sure you belong in a lab or something." "But I need this job so badly. Mom paid a lot of money for the lawyers after my sisters." Hey, where do you think you are? The Oprah Winfrey Show? I don't care about your stupid problems. You're not pretty. Like, at all. So, leave." What a total jerk! I got really mad, so I spat at his face. To my surprise, the pretty girl walked up to him and spat at his face too. And then we both left. I never found a job, but I found a boy. And he was cute. One day, I invited him to my house, and when he got there and saw my sisters, he said, "Oh, they're prettier. Not fair." And just like that, he left. What a total jerk. I decided not to date any boy ever again. When I graduated, I decided to go to any college just to run away from home. I heard someone say that animation was an easy subject, so I studied that. And wow, that was such a difficult subject. By the time I graduated, My Story Animated was looking for animators. I didn't really like their content, but I needed the job, so I applied and got accepted. I started animating for them, and it was amazing at first. I loved knowing that the videos I'd worked on were being watched by millions around the world. Loads of people left comments about how much they liked my animation. And for the first time in my life, I felt like someone saw me, and I wasn't invisible anymore. I was really happy and proud of myself. That is, until one morning, when I woke up to see tons of YouTubers making fun of My Story Animated videos. They left the meanest comments and said that the stories were stupid. I realized these smart people were right, and My Story Animated was a crazy channel. So I messaged the boss, "Hey, your videos suck. I quit. Bye." Then I started following other channels, especially the ones who'd attacked My Story Animated. I was sure they would have better content, but soon enough, I discovered that they proved nothing useful or worth watching, and I was really beginning to regret my decision. Of course, Mom went insane when she found out that I'd quit. At least My Story Animated entertains people, and their content changes people's lives in some way. Why can't you be like the strong girls who send their stories to the channel? They always overcome challenges eventually, unlike you good-for-nothing loser. Remember I told you that Mom was dumb? Well, for the first time in my life, she said something that actually made sense. So I decided to contact My Story Animated the following day. But I never got around to it because that same day, I had a terrible car accident. When I woke up, the doctors told me that my legs were hurt and that it might take me a long time to be able to walk again. When Mom heard that, she had the most incredible thing to say. "Oh, I thought you'd be the one taking care of me when I get old. You couldn't even do that, could you? Now I'll be babysitting you." I just lost it and started yelling at her. "Who asked you to? I don't need you. You never treated me as a real daughter. You never loved me. Just leave my life." She shrugged and just left. June stayed by my side, though, and helped me with everything. I felt helpless, and I knew that my life was even more meaningless now. But June said, "Meaningless? How? Sarah, I envy you." I couldn't believe that my super gorgeous, smart sister was envying me? Me? "You have the opportunity to be part of My Story Animated family and help tell people's stories from around the world. You can help give a voice to so many girls dealing with all sorts of obstacles. And you call that meaningless?" I immediately contacted My Story Animated, not only to work with them again, but also to share my story with the world. Fortunately, they agreed to take me back. As I kept working hard, my animation also got better. But my legs weren't getting any better. June used to take me to the park to make me feel better. One day, I found some young girls watching one of my 𝗕𝗓𝗏𝗡 videos. Hey, I work with that channel. Actually, you're now watching a video I animated. The girls were stunned. They oohed and awed and showered me with questions. Then they started hugging me and asking to take pictures with me. They also asked for my autograph. I felt amazing, and I felt I have a great power to help change the world. But Mom knew I was back to work and started calling me for money because all of my sisters found jobs and left her alone. I yelled at her. You deserve what's happening to you. Don't contact me ever again. I was really happy at work, but the mean comments on my videos never stopped. One day I asked the boss, don't all these hateful videos and comments affect you? Yes, but there are plenty of people who love us and impatiently wait for our videos. Haters are just very judgmental people who see the world as black and white and think they are right about everything. And when they don't understand something, they just call it stupid or bad or ugly. And that is just bullying. I immediately thought of Mom and how she always thought I was useless, stupid, and ugly. Mom was a bully. My mom is a bully. Months later, I got better and was able to walk again, but I still thought about what the boss had said about bullies. So I decided to contact Mom again. I went to her house. She looked miserable and started crying the moment she saw me. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry for everything I've done to you. All your sisters left me after everything I did for them. You're the best child I ever had. You never complained. I was so unfair. Forgive me, my child. Forgive your mama. She then got on her knees.